Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you something, especially for those of you who are AS9100 certified. This is for you. Boeing pulled a real scam on you. For over 20 plus years, Boeing was themselves the commercial airline division, not AS9100 certified, but they wanted you to be that way so that they could wash their hands of on-site auditing, and they did in 2002. On April 17th, I stood up in Congress. I was not invited, it was open door. And I went down there because of you, ladies and gentlemen, because after being involved with quality for 40 plus years and watching these big OEMs, original equipment manufacturers like Boeing and Lockheed, but we're not going to focus in on Lockheed. That's another disaster. We're focusing on Boeing because I held up two pieces of paper, one from April and one from July of 2002, that Boeing took down mysteriously in January of 2025, 23 years later. Why? Because in every press release, in every video that I do, I talk about them. And their attorneys probably said, that guy Guberman's right, because in the context of those two documents, ladies and gentlemen, it stated that we'll come visit you for special processes like heat treat if the need arises or need be. And the same thing goes for the AS9100 certification. Must be ANSI-ANAB accredited, and we will come visit you if the need arises or need be. Those are two interlocking verbiages. So that's basically giving up quality. Exposing the ANSI-ANAB IAF accreditation scam and national security crisis. I'm here today not as a politician, not as a bureaucrat, but as a 40-year quality management expert who has dedicated his life to honest American manufacturing and accountability. Today, I am here to tell you that the undeniable truth that the American National Standards Institute and the American National Accrediting Board and their role in a corrupt accreditation system that threatens national security, national integrity, and the very survival of American craftsmanship. For too long, these organizations have operated in the shadows, manipulating our regulatory system, controlling quality certification processes, and embedding themselves into both corporate and federal agencies. Their influence is not just domestic, it is international, and it is dangerous. The truth about ANSI-ANAB, the gatekeepers of fraud. ANSI and ANAB present themselves as a gold standard in the accreditation quality oversight, but in reality, they are nothing more than a self-serving cartel, a closed-loop system where the regulators and regulated are one and the same. So let me break this down for you. The American National Standards Institute oversees and develops standards that dictate compliance in manufacturing, healthcare, aerospace, and other industries, but they're also an accreditation body. We have that data. The American National Accreditation Board is responsible for accreditation certification bodies that supposedly ensure companies follow quality standards. They both merged into one, but they're still separate. In 2018, ANSI took over complete control over ANAB in 2018. But here's the real scandal. They don't regulate corporations, they regulate themselves. ANSI and ANAB sit on each other's boards, along with federal agencies like the Department of Defense, the Federal Aviation Administration, Department of Commerce, Department of Homeland Security. The regulators are many times their customers. And ANSI-ANAB's customers are Department of Justice, Department of Homeland Security, Department of Commerce, and the FDA. And also the FDA certified ANSI-ANAB for third-party food safety registration. This is regulatory capture at its worst, a system where accountability is non-existent, fraud is institutionalized, and the American public is left with broken planes, defective medical devices, and compromised cybersecurity. The International Accreditation Forum, the shadow organization, and controlling global accreditation. ANSI and ANAB influence does not stop at the American borders. In 1993, they helped found the International Accreditation Forum, a shadowy, unaccountable entity incorporated in Delaware, but operating as a global authority, having both accreditation bodies, national and international, on their board. The IAF positions itself above national and international accreditation bodies. It is top of the pyramid, dictating quality and certification rules across multiple industries. The IAF accreditation is the global rubber stamp that ANSI and ANAB wield to exert control over American business. And here's the most crucial part, ladies and gentlemen. The IAF is riddled with foreign influence, including direct involvement with China, and sometimes with Iran, and they have Pakistan on board, and many others. China holds the chairmanship of the IAF in 2015 to 21, a country that has stolen trillions of dollars in U.S. intellectual property, compromised our defense systems, and manipulated trade to benefit their economy at our expense. This means China is directly involved in setting the global accreditation policies that American companies must follow. It means that the very standards we trust for aerospace, military, and medical products are being influenced by hostile foreign power. Licenses, certifications, and regulations, how the ANSI-ANAB IAF syndicate control America. Through their interlocking directorates and regulatory influence, ANSI, ANAB, and IAF have created a monopoly on certification quality assurance. They dictate who gets certified and who regulations are enforced and what regulations are enforced and which companies rise and fall in the global marketplace. This system is rigged against the American worker and the American entrepreneur because certification bodies must be accredited by ANSI-ANAB to issue compliant certifications. Regulations require ANSI-ANAB approved certifications to operate in industries like aerospace, medical, automotive, and cybersecurity. Companies that do not play the ANSI-ANAB rules will be blacklisted, unable to compete in the marketplace. This is not free enterprise, this is economic warfare, where the gatekeepers decide who succeeds, who fails, and while they're claiming to ensure quality and safety. The fallout: America decline in manufacturing, national security, and economic strength. Because of this corrupt system, we are seeing the direct consequences. Boeing, for over 22 years, did not conduct proper on-site quality system audits demanded by AS9100 from suppliers, leading to defective aircraft and deadly crashes, as I told you too. Okay, as I told you, Boeing commercial airlines did not, and I mean they did not, have AS9100 up until August 2024 when they started work on getting it. They demanded it from their suppliers and suppliers, but they didn't get it themselves. Lockheed Martin's F-35, despite billions in funding, is only 29% combat ready, a direct result of certification failures under ANSI-ANAB's oversight. Medical devices, pharmaceuticals, and cybersecurity infrastructures have been compromised, all under the so-called watchful eye of these accreditation bodies. And the worst part, the federal agencies that should be investigating ANSI and ANAB are part of this very same systematical scam. The DOJ, DHS, FDA, Department of Commerce are not just members of ANSI-ANAB, they are customers. This means they buy into the same corrupt certification system that should be regulating. The final warning: America must take back control. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been sounding the alarm for years. The question is, will America listen before it's too late? If Congress, industrial leaders, and American people do not take immediate action to dismantle this corrupt accreditation monopoly, America's future is at risk. We must legislate quality management to be strictly American, free of foreign influence and international corruption. We must demand an independent American-led accreditation system that upholds quality, honesty, and craftsmanship. We must hold ANSI, ANAB, and IAF accountable for their role in regulatory fraud, national security breaches, and international sabotage. If we do not act now, America will fall. Instead of building a wall to keep illegal immigrants out, we will be cutting doors in it, because Americans will be the ones who are fleeing out of the country. I, Daryl Guberman, have exposed the truth. The question is, will you, America, listen? 203-556-1493. I thank you.